What is going on, Mail Gang Boys here? We're outside because we're going to be shooting and doing some analysis on the brand new Maruyama 5PC Carbine. Absolutely freaking gorgeous. Look at her, okay? The build quality is top notch. We have a metal M-lock handguard, metal upper receiver, a nice solid polymer lower, and let me tell you, no receiver wobble whatsoever. This thing feels like one solid chunk of airsoft gun, if I could explain that, okay? But Maruyama, one thing that we found out that I think is pretty impressive is that they chose to use VFC as their manufacturer, which is kind of explains why the build quality is so dang nice. And not only that, but VFC makes a lot of really cool and good functioning gas blowback airsoft guns, in addition to, you know, the AEGs that we're very familiar with here in the US. Now, first things first, I want to say, just as an M4 user, as a solid member of the Mayo Gang, this fire control group feels very much at home, okay? The magazine release is right where it should be, okay? It's ambidextrous on either side, okay? So you can activate it if you're left-handed or right-handed, okay? The bolt release is going to be a little different. It's a more of a lever style over here. So if you're like a 416 A5 enjoyer with that lever style bolt release, you're going to be right at home right here. And of course, the bolt release is going to be ambidextrous on both sides. And the fire selector is like your ambidextrous AR style fire selector. And I love how short the throw is from safe to semi. Woo! Very nice and short, able to get on target real fast, okay? And then you do that full 180-degree flip to go into full auto. So that's your fire control group. Now there's two ways to load this guy. You have your ambidextrous charging handle here in the rear. And I'm gonna go ahead and just move this flashlight out of the way. You have a side charging handle here as well. But keep in mind, if you're gonna mount any accessories along the top handguard or on the side here of the M-lock like I did with the flashlight, you might lose the ability to use that side charging handle, which is why Maruyama also opted to give you that rear charging handle just in case if that is obstructed. Now, the side charging handle can be moved to either side over here, so you can move it to this side or to that side, whichever one you choose. Yeah, the option is available to you. And one thing about the Maruyama 5PC is going to be the magazine. Okay, look how sick the magazine looks. All right, it's a nice polymer translucent magazine with the fake bullets here printed inside the magazine, and then you have a nice thick base plate here, which is nice because if you drop the magazine, you don't have to worry about this thing breaking apart. It's nice and padded, protected. You have a fill valve here at the bottom. Now, one cool thing about the Maruyamas that I love is that the BB channel is still clear, so you can see immediately how many rounds you have left. Now, the Maruyama magazines hold about 45 rounds, but one thing we noticed is that when you're loading the 5PC with the fully loaded 45 round magazine, you might have some trouble getting it to lock in every time. So one thing I recommend doing is what I do personally as well when using this is I load this up to full capacity, then I offload about 1 to 5 rounds. Personally, I do about 5 rounds just to be safe, and it locks in every time. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and take a couple shots, shall we? Super snappy. I love the response on this guy. Yeah, the trigger break is so nice and crisp. It really keeps up with my trigger finger, and I love that you could really feel the trigger snap every time you fire. Oh, and that was the last round. But if you look at the trigger here, right, when you pull back the trigger, barely any movement. It's way less movement than your typical M4 AEG. But enough of that. Let's do some full auto, shall we? Pretty moderate rate of fire in full auto. Oh, there we go, and that's the mag. So one thing I recommend doing if you want to use it on full auto is just keep it to the burst fire mode, just because if you try to mag dump this guy in full auto, you will cool down the magazine and the gun really fast, and you're going to lose more of your cycling rate. So I think on the chrono, we measured up roughly about 10 to 12 rounds per second. It's a very usable, very viable full auto in my opinion. A lot of gas blowback SMGs out there, you know, they're dumping 20 to 30 rounds per second, which is cool if you're going to do that, you know, in your backyard. But if you're shooting that at another player, it's very mean-spirited. You're going to get them very upset if you shoot them in full auto with that fast of a firing rate. So like I said, very usable at a moderate 10 to 12 rounds. You can easily control a 2 to 3 round burst on them, so to let them know, you know, you got them. But man, super snappy trigger. I cannot get over that. It's snappier than even my own gas blowback Tokyo Marine MWS. Okay, but let's talk about the hop up real quick. The hop up here is located right where the handguard and the upper receiver meet, that little hole right there you see. So out of the box, you're gonna get a 2.5 millimeter hex key, or you know, if you have your own, you can use that as well, and you stick that right in there, and then you could just rotate it to adjust your hop up. I love that you can do that, just because you don't need to open up the gun to adjust the hop up. There's so many gas blowback airsoft guns out there, whether it's rifles, pistols, SMGs, you know, you have to like open up the gun to adjust the hop up. Not with the 5PC. Okay, you could just literally stick your little hex key in there. You could leave it in the gun and just like one-hand it, right? And then you shoot, adjust, shoot, adjust, shoot, adjust. It's so much faster, simpler to do on the fly. Now, when it comes to the range and accuracy, I will say from a testing, I would say stock out of the box, you'll probably get really good accurate shots within the CQB distance. I'm talking about 80 to 100 feet. You'll get really accurate shots. The BBs can sail longer. Obviously, you can sail farther, but in my opinion, I think you start to lose more of the accuracy the farther you go out, because it's such a small little airsoft gun. It's designed, it was built to be used in those indoor CQB arenas, and it does it very well. In fact, it chronos perfectly for that CQB FPS. So that way you can take this guy right out of the box and take it to your CQB arena and start rocking and rolling with it, okay? But if you want to take this guy outdoors, if you're more of an outdoor player and you like the vibe of running an SMG outdoors, you know, I would highly recommend swapping out the inner barrel for like a 300 millimeter unicorn type bore inner barrel and a nice stiff, about 70 to 80 degree hop-up bucking. You could really get this guy sailing out there. But I will say you will get a bit of a bump in FPS, but you're not going to get as much as, let's say, a full-blown gas pellet rifle. The reason why is because with this little mag, this whole system is very efficient. I'm just going to run this mag out real quick. The mag is extremely efficient. The bolt system is extremely efficient. It's sipping on the gas. It's not guzzling it like most gas blowback rifles and SMGs do. So because of that, you get more of a moderate muzzle velocity, right? And also, because you're getting less gas traveling behind each shot of the BB, you will be getting, I guess you would say, less range compared to some of the more dedicated, like outdoor gas blow rifles. Again, this is a CQB gun. It's designed to be used indoors primarily. So look at that. I offloaded 5 rounds right into the magazine, so that way I can, yeah, do that. Okay, but now I'm going to talk about, you know, I talked about how efficient the gun is. Let's talk about the gas efficiency of the 5PC9. Okay, so starting to cool down a little bit. Still locked back. 2 full mags so far. So from our testing, when we got these in, we wanted to test the gas efficiency from a fully charged green gas magazine from Maruyama. We're able to cleanly get about almost 4.5 magazines of BBs out of one single fill of green gas. Okay,
wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's insanely good for a magazine this small, right? Like there are magazines out there that are way bigger than this that are nowhere near as efficient. Okay, so again, that's due in part to how lightweight the bolt is, how little the bolt is cycling, and also how little gas the system is drawing every time you pull the trigger. So one thing is, because it's a polymer magazine, you're gonna have a hard time feeling how cold the magazine is. Generally, what I like to do is here on the bottom of the fill valve, this is made out of metal, so I just put my thumb over it and you can kind of gauge. Yeah, so the mag is pretty cold right now, but nonetheless, I'm gonna keep shooting it because I can. So now I'm starting to notice it's short cycling a little bit. Still locks back after 3 mags. Look at that. And the first 2 mags, I was dumping those BBs. I was going way faster than I normally would when I'm testing the gas efficiency, when I try to stretch the gas. All right, I'm out of BBs here on my speed loader, so I'm just gonna run out the rest of this half mag just to show you the gas efficiency on this guy. Bet money it's going to run all these rounds. It's short cycling. And it ran all the rounds. Look at that. So even after I ran the crap out of these mags, the first two mags, it still completed the third mag, and it ate up half of the fourth mag. So it goes to show you, if you want to stretch out the gas efficiency and kind of slow down your cadence of fire, you could easily get 4 mags out of this. Okay, so that goes to show you this little guy is kind of a little beast. And quite honestly, I really want one myself.
When are you buying one?
End of this week. I'm gonna, the paycheck that I get paid here is gonna go directly back to Airsoft GI so I can get one of these.